So I lived in California, specifically Sacramento, for 18 years, and now I live in Colorado Springs. So I feel like I am pretty well qualified to compare the two places. And today I wanted to share with you 5 things I wish I would have known before moving here. Now, I have actually a lot more than 5 things, and so I'm going to be making more videos in the future, so keep an eye out for those. Also, look down below because I have a lot of resources for anybody who's thinking about making a move here. Number 1, the roads. They are really bad here. I've actually never seen anything quite like it before. You'll just be driving down the street and there is a giant pothole in the middle of the road, and you have to like swerve to get out of the way, or else it's going to completely destroy your struts. So how do we deal with it as California transplants? Well, one way is to just embrace it. It is part of the Colorado Springs culture. The second way is you can download an app called Go COS, and supposedly you can take a picture of the pothole and you can submit it to the city and they'll come out and fill it. Now, in reality, does this happen? I don't know. I've heard mixed reviews on if these potholes actually get filled or not. So I think that the best thing to do is just embrace it as part of the Colorado Springs culture. Number 2 is the weather. So as Californians, we are used to a very mild, consistent, sunny weather pretty much year round. That's not really so much the way it is in Colorado. In Colorado Springs, the weather can change very quickly. It can change 40 degrees in one day. Many times you're going to see any combination of rain, hail, thunderstorms, snow, all in the same day. Maybe you've heard the saying, if you don't like the weather, give it 5 minutes. In Colorado Springs, the saying is, if you don't like the weather, look out the other window. That's really the way it is. A lot of times you'll wake up and it's a bright and sunny morning, and then by around 2 o'clock, you're gonna see this front of clouds and thunderstorms making its way over. So how do we deal with all of this as California transplants? Well, if you are looking to escape the California heat, this is a good place for you. Our heat here is dry, just like California. And those thunderstorms do cool off the temperatures in the afternoon. Also, it's very rare for the temperatures to ever reach really above 85 degrees here, even in the heat of the summer. If you like the beauty of snow without it really interfering with your life, this is also a good place. Unlike some other states or some other cities that the snow comes in and then it sticks around all winter, here the snow falls and it's a dusty snow, and so you'll actually see it blowing across the road. It doesn't really stick. It's not wet and sticky like some other places. And also because we are higher up elevation, we're closer to the sun, the rays are stronger. Whenever the sun is out, the snow, it melts and it evaporates very quickly. So it could snow all night long. You wake up in the morning and the snow is gone by noon, and usually it's melted off the road as soon as the sun is up. So I have found that the snow doesn't really impact my life here. I will say you are going to need a legitimate winter coat here. This is not just your little windbreaker that you might be used to wearing in California. You're going to want something pretty substantial here. The weather does get very cold, especially once the sun goes down. The coldest that I've experienced here after it got dark was -12. I will say -12 does not feel as cold as you might expect it to feel, probably because, again, it's dry. It's not that wet cold that's going to your bones. It stays more surface, but you still do need a pretty decent coat. As far as tornadoes, these are not really something that are part of your life in Colorado Springs. You do hear about them in surrounding areas. Specifically, it seems like they seem to congregate around the east and the southeast parts of Denver. I have also seen them out a little bit further in the mountains, surprisingly. But as far as the city of Colorado Springs, there have only been 2 that have actually made landfall in Colorado Springs, and one was in the 60s and one was in the 70s. As far as hail, that is a legitimate problem here. As you're driving around, you're gonna see cars that have large dents in them because it's not like the little pea-sized hail that you're used to in California. We actually get some golf ball sized hail here, and it happens semi-frequently. I would say during the spring and summer months, I've seen large hail probably once every couple of weeks. The good news is that it's not widespread across the entire city. It's usually one neighborhood that is experiencing it, and it doesn't last very long. So it's important that you do, when you move here, that you do get a place that has a garage and that you watch the weather forecast. You might also want to get a cover for your car. Number 3 is the vibe here. So in California, it is fast-paced, it is trendy, it is on point. People are usually dressed up nicely, fancy, upscale. That is not the culture in Colorado Springs. In fact, it's very much the opposite. The culture here is very laid back and outdoorsy, and if you're dressed up, you probably are gonna feel a little bit out of place. I would say the focus here is really on like a slower pace of life and hiking and outdoor activities. How do we deal as California transplants? Well, hopefully you're moving here because you like the laid back outdoorsy lifestyle and you're not someone who is very fancy. If you are, this is a little bit of a difficult place to live. I tend to lean a little bit more in that direction, and so for me, it's been an adjustment. You know, I have to go to Denver to get to a decent mall. We do have the Promenade at Briargate, which is a small mall, and it has a few stores, but it's very small. As far as like upscale things, we have a few. We have the Broadmoor. You might want to think about joining a country club like Flying Horse if you're looking for a place that you can just go and hang out and have like an upscale vibe. They have some nice restaurants at Flying Horse has one, Garden of the Gods Country Club has one, and there's some other country clubs too. But overall, I would say that this is a very casual area, and if you're someone who is looking for more upscale amenities, you might want to check out a place like Castle Rock, which is a place that has a lot of California transplants and is closer to the Denver amenities. Number 4 is altitude. So at sea level, the majority of cities are going to be at sea level, and maybe you've never been at an altitude this high before. Colorado Springs downtown is at 6,200 feet, and the further you go north, if you're living more towards Monument area, it's at closer to 7,000, and if even in Black Forest, it can go up to almost 8,000 feet. So what does it feel like to live at this altitude? Well, it does take a little bit of getting used to. You might notice that you are short of breath more easily, that you can't do everything that you used to do at sea level, and that you get dehydrated more easily here. I would say for the vast majority of people, it's not a huge adjustment. You just need to take it a little bit slower when you first get here, make sure that you drink more water, and again, embrace it as part of the Colorado Springs culture. If you get to a point where you are training really hard here at Colorado Springs, the good news is once you go back down to sea level, you're gonna feel superhuman. And number 5, I hate to say this, but the locals here can be a little bit hostile towards people who are newcomers. Now, this is especially towards Californians. Go on any social media group and you are going to come across comments of people saying, "Go back to where you came from. We don't want you here. Colorado is full." Don't let it deter you. I have actually not had anybody say anything rude to my face. These are mostly keyboard warriors. Also, take everything they say with a grain of salt because I have found that they tend to be far more negative than the truth is because they're trying to dissuade you from moving here. I get it. Coloradans seem to be very nostalgic for their childhood experience. They see Californians moving in as I think they assume that everyone coming from California has a lot of money, that they're going to drive up prices, that they're going to add traffic, and that they're going to change the culture and the way of life. So, how do we deal with this as California transplants? Well, I will say one thing you can do is as soon as you move here, make sure you change your license plates over from California to Colorado so that you can go a little bit incognito. Number 2 would be make sure that you find a group of other people who are also transplants. And that is actually why I created a Facebook group. You can head over to Facebook. It is called Colorado Springs Transplants, and this is a group for anyone who has recently moved or is considering a move to Colorado Springs. This is a friendly and welcoming space for other transplants to be able to ask questions about the area without any hostile comments. All right, so that is my top 5 list. And would any of these things have changed my mind for moving to Colorado Springs? No, probably not, but they are good to know just so that there's no surprises. Thanks for watching this video and make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.